It's your boy Yink. Welcome to our show. Guys, you are having a wonderful day on this. We got the result from the tournament. I forgot to open this word, so give me a couple of seconds. I'm happy, guys. I'm so sorry once again for the I'm so sorry again for the what should we call it for the shield problem yesterday. It wasn't on purpose, of course, as you guys can possibly tell. Otherwise, I don't know what you're talking about. Shield, we did horrible, but that was to be expected because I was so focused on repairing my mistake that I didn't see past it. So shield, we got rank 24. Good. Now I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get demoted. 50 stone, not even. That was the worst possible thing ever. That is the worst possible thing. That could have happened. It's not a big deal though. I know that I got big ego. Queen earned. We should do that. Then I have to wait for the sword. Okay, perfect. So now, how did we do with the other playthrough? Well, the crown did pretty okay. 15. It's not bad, but not great. Oops. Well, that's good actually. We got 2. So what ended up happening is either history. Well, rebuild. Okay, so we're broke. We are broke. So, I'm gonna go for health regen. Health regen is so low, it's crazy. I'm also gonna do the 800, 800, 800, 800, 800. Okay, good. What do we get? 30, 40. We have next to all the mission. It's just a question of playing. 5 on those, so let's. The flame bot cooldown is maxed, which means they possibly don't have the same value. What I mean by that, super simple. So they don't have the same value means that one of them has a maximum of a buyout of 800. The other one has a buyout of 700. So when you spend 700, when you reach the 700 metal to level up, you're at the max. And when you reach, for others, when you reach the superior level, which is 800, there's another level up. So I need to get 4. If I get 4, we're good. If I get 4, we're good, guys. I know I got a big ego. They won't let me do anything else. That's why I've clicked. I didn't think. It's okay, it's alright. So, we do have a little bit of a busy morning. We're gonna take a shower. Platt. For next event, buys 80. Sahar, just search 28. I owe you. Beer is amazing. So wait a second. You said what? Device went to idle mode after 3 minutes. If you have a Samsung, there's something called Game Booster. Okay, so wait a second. Okay, so Game Booster. Okay, so what is he saying? What is he saying? The hero of the day. If you have a Samsung phone, there's something called Game Booster, and there is a power saving. When touch protection is on, game performance. What is that? I don't understand. Okay. EP. If you have a Samsung, there's something called Game Booster. So this is it. There's a power saving when touch protection. Touch protection is on by disabling it. Your performance. Touch protection. Touch protection. Reduce the frame rate for game while touch protection is active. Okay. So they were telling me about that. There you go. Okay, good. And lastly, I don't think it does a difference, but still. If the people from the guild say it does, I want to trust them. We're a guild after all. Slack. Okay. I know I got a big ego. I know Oh, j'ai vu ça, mais il y a déjà. Il y avait une rangée éducation, il y avait une rangée inclusion. Travailler à la région. Il était super, super nice. Bon, je sais pas tout le temps comment ça. À la boxe, ça, je suis pas super sûr. Ça me dérangerait pas. Mais ça me dérange pas que c'est genre un mois, 2 mois, peut-être 3 mois par année, ça me dérange pas. Mais travailler à l'étranger, puis là, faire rien par personnel, deux, non, c'est. J'ai Florian, Kruger, la famille, mais non, c'est intéressant, c'est juste combien, c'est non, c'est pas la job de manière à long terme, c'est pas, peut-être, oui, 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 je dirais, le Québec, c'est le plus, je serais peut-être le plus down de travailler. La raison pourquoi c'est très simple, en fait, je ne sais pas pourquoi en fait c'est très simple. C'est que Albert Frauenspiel a bit. Aucun bébé eagle. You know. See that? Yeah. Merde. Right. I'm done yet. So now you have an hour to make videos.
just on a whim show you everything. It wouldn't have worked. You easily could have said, "Oh, you made this up. This is a bullshit new account or whatever."
Yeah.
It's a convoluted story. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your response to me reaching out to you, saying, "Hey, I have the information. I'm 50-50 on it." What was your response to that?
Modernisez votre cours à petit prix chez Walmart.
I'm sensing some hostility.
Really?
I could do more.
Let's have children.
You said your partner was asking for a little more space in the relationship. Are you being careful?
I can't wait till next week. I don't know what to say now.
Des objectifs financiers, chez Fidelity, on sait que tout le monde en a. Et ils sont tous différents.
Yeah. So, and once again, let's make sure we have all references here.
Mhm.
It's you sent that March 16th at 18 p.m. So
Mhm.
it's evening time for me, right? My morning routine is I wake up and I start prepping for the show, right? So we're live at 11. I'm getting up. I'm getting prepped for everything. I have not checked this email, right? I've not checked this email, and you know because I told you prior to that in our original correspondence, I don't check this email. I don't check this email very often. Sometimes it'll go weeks before I check the email, right? So you know this. So you send me that email. The following day, March 17th, I respond at 7:45. That's the next time we have any sort of
Is
correspondence.
that AM or PM?
That is PM.
Okay.
So it's been about 23 hours.
And you've already done your show for Friday. It's already taken
Correct.
place.
It is done. So here's my response to you. I said, and I felt like this was a very fair course, very fair assessment of things. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. I said, hey Phil, I think the show went okay yesterday. We talked about it at length on today's show as a debrief. I think we all left the interview mentally exhausted and feeling incredibly frustrated as at the end of the day we want what's best for you, man. The things that are laid out about everything, the WWE mobile games, the bank stuff, etc., it just doesn't make sense, man. There's too much evidence saying it's yours, and your only evidence is just saying it's not. I feel like we gave you multiple opportunities to turn this thing around, but you just seem so dug in. Even in the face of insanely detailed evidence, you wouldn't take it. Even with Keemstar coming on, I tried to lay out the similarities you feel towards him and the way people feel about you based off of things that you said online. It was tough. Honestly, I'm just disappointed, man. Like I said, I and we want what's best for you, man. We very much do. But you have to want what's best for yourself. When you're ready to take that step, I will gladly help you, man. Help you, man, on your journey. You deserve to get to level 2. I know you can do it. And that's the email that I sent to you. And I think that was very fair. I did not lie to you and be like, hey, Phil, it was great. It was spectacular. Can't wait to set up number 2. As I said in email, we were exhausted from it. And
Email you say,
Oh, shit.
I'm 50-50 about sending you the stuff. Do you check your email? You literally just publicly admitted you don't check your email. Right?
well, in this situation, yeah, it's been a day. Yeah.
So you ended an interview, the hottest piece of content you had ever made at that point on Side Scrollers. You knew all eyes were on you. You knew people were looking to see if I was going to follow up with you and send you this information. And you decided not to check your email, but instead to do a show bragging on me the next day. Is that a correct statement?
I would say that in between me ending the show, being done with the internet for the day, going to sleep, and waking up the next day and then doing the show, like Phil, as we said at the time, you had one opportunity to send the stuff. It wasn't there, right? You passed on that.
Whoa. Passed on what? You just admitted the door was open to send you the information when I got it together.
During the show, Phil, during the interview,
Craig, we're on an interview and a show. Great. We're in an interview. The idea of the interview is for me to answer your question. It's not stop the interview. Let me dig into documents and get you screenshots and that's not what the interview was. Never once before the interview did you ever say that's what it was going to be. And like I said, if I'm going to send you something, it has to be sure that it's proving my point. This is a convoluted story. It's not going to send you a screenshot. I got to try to prove now that I've got a new account. It's not the old account, that I sold the account. This is complicated. It's not something I can
Black hole, nice.
show. I was literally, to be transparent with you now, as I sent you that email, I had everything ready. I told you I was 50-50. I literally had it all ready to go. And all you had to do was check your email and say, I'm here, Phil, I'll check it. And I would have sent it to you, and you would have had it. And instead of having a Friday show where all you did was beat me up all day, you would have had the Friday show saying, the big reveal. DSP cleared the air. He said he was a liar, but here's the
Attack enemy escape.
You
Ooh.
didn't check your email. You told me.
Like, what do you want? They're like I'm
I love this.
I didn't check my email for 23 hours. That's not how people communicate in 2023. And I know that's how you communicated, but I didn't check my email for 23 hours, and I'm sorry that I didn't check my email for 23 hours. I apologize for that. Will you apologize for lying?
I apologize for lying, but I don't want your apology that you didn't check your email. I want your apology for being completely disingenuous about everything that happened after the fact, after the interview. That's what I want.
But the thing is, Phil, I don't think we were being disingenuous. Like, I think we were being completely honest with how we felt. You know, like I said, we spent 5 hours talking to you, getting the runaround, man, and like, it was not meant to be like this was. Once again, I go back to the definitive dark side
Store.
Phil interview, and it wasn't. So I'm disappointed in that because there's things that you're telling us now you lied about.
21 day.
What you told me in that email you sent me on Friday, basically, in other words, says we don't actually care what the truth is because I had the truth and was going to send it to you, and you ignored me.
No, it's not that I ignored you. It's because I didn't check the email. And
That's called ignoring because you knew that was our line of communication. You asked me to send you the information I was going to, and you chose not to check it. You actively ignored the way that I could have cleared my name, and then you went on to do a show that made you tons of money defaming me on the internet. That's exactly what happened. And there's no way that you can ever clarify that because it's in black and white. You just admitted it. You read it. You just admitted it publicly. That you didn't check the line of communication we had, that I could have cleared the whole situation.
is this like a gotcha? Like,
There's no gotcha. There's no gotcha. You read it. I actually wasn't going to read the emails. You did it.
no, I don't apologize for not checking my email for 23 hours. I'm an adult with a family and kids, and honestly, I was tired of it. Right? The fact that I did check my email on Friday night was fascinatingly amazing that I did that, right?
No.
That's a big dub. But I'm sorry that you felt betrayed that I didn't check my email. And once again, there's a big difference between ignoring, because I didn't know the email was there in the first place. You have to know it was there to actively ignore it. I did not actively ignore your email. I didn't know it happened. So I can't ignore something that I didn't know happened.
Any time that I try to defend myself, the detractors move the goalposts. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a little innocuous thing that doesn't matter at all. It could be a big, full-blown lie that I've been doing for years. Whenever I try to do something, all right, they move the goalposts. Right now, I could post all the information up, and they would say, that's fake, that's not true. So it doesn't matter what I post or what I don't. Now, in the case of you have presented yourself as a neutral third party. You were going to be someone who was going to do this interview and be fair, and then you were going to judge for yourself, which actually seems like that's what happened. Except you didn't actually give me the opportunity to send you the information to clear my name and tell you what really was going on. Now, whether or not you checked your email or not, it's not a big deal.
I'm sorry I didn't check my email, and I would like to take this moment to
Wait, what?
apologize to you and apologize to all of your champions, and especially all the detractors for not checking my email for 23 hours. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let me close with this. You close and then I'll close. And
Recovery, nice.
Close first.
I want you to really think about your actions here, right? Think about this logically, please. Why were we pissed the next day?
Mhm.
Why? I'm asking you. Why were we pissed?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like you wanted me to come clean on your show and get a really great piece of content out of it because it was going to be the definitive time when DSP admits to everything that everyone's been saying that he's been doing so.
We didn't get to
And when I did
the reward
that,
here.
You basically had enough but it was good for my detractor. They wanted to crap on me, so it was a good piece for them, but you didn't have anything for anyone else. So it didn't give you what you were looking for in the product. That was the problem. You were really hoping you were going to get the big confession. That's why you kept putting me on the spot about send me the screenshot, send me the screenshot. Well, we had never discussed that before the interview. You didn't get it, you got upset about it, and that's why you didn't check your email, because you couldn't get the moment anymore in the interview. You thought you had wasted 5 hours of your time, and what you said was, well, now I'm going to get him back for that tomorrow. I'll make that money in this nice destruction show that we'll do on Friday. That's
Claim.
what happened.
You're wrong about all that.
Okay, fair enough, but you asked me for my opinion, so that's, there you go.
Sure. And that also tells me where your head's at. We were mad because we were lied to. Had you not lied, none of this would have happened. If you were just clear and honest with us, like you've been like you were yesterday, everything, none of this would happen. We could have moved on and would have been like, yeah, do we think it's bullshit? That's fine. And would the Friday stream have happened the way it did? Probably not, right? Would the monetize the hater stream have happened? Probably not. Because if you just were honest from the start, none of this would have happened. So you can point the finger at me all day long, but at the end of the day, Phil, what's the old saying? You still got 3 more pointing back, right? Back at you. So look, I'll take my responsibility. I hope you look within yourself and you take some responsibility in this as well, right? And that's fine. I do hope that we can eventually work together in the future in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you come on Side Shores and we do a regular show. If you don't want to deal with a politics-driven show that isn't whatever you said, right? You were extremely nice with your words, and by nice I'm being sarcastic right now. And when you told us to go fuck ourselves and all that stuff, so I would like to give you a fair shake someday on Side Strollers if you're open to it. Like I said, I want to make sure that you and everybody else knows that I am open to working with you in some way, shape, or form. But I hope more than anything, I hope you're honest, not just with your audience, but with yourself about the situation. I appreciate your time today, Phil. I got some dad duties I got to get done. Thank you guys very much for your time.
All right, now hold on. Before you go, let me say my piece too. All right,
Sure.
it'll be quick, I promise.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the end. There's no more feud between you and me. Do you agree? That's it. We're done. We can stop going at each other's throats.
Phil, I haven't had a feud with you for 18 months, man.
That's fine. Okay, whatever you say, monetize the haters, but you don't have a feud with me. You want me to play Street Fighter with you. You don't have a feud with me. You want me back as a guest on your anniversary show because you know it's going to bring you hype and attention from my chapters, but you don't have a feud with me. Okay? Well, okay, fair enough. You don't have a feud, but we're agreeing to this now. It's over, right? We're done. We're good.
It's over. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you were asking me now, a year and a half later, will I be a guest on your show? Which was what originally was agreed to. Correct. Like, that's what you're saying. It was originally, that was the agreement. We were going to do the interview, and then after that, I was going to have the opportunity to be a regular guest on your show like everyone else had been. Correct?
Right.
That was the agreement.
And after the interview, I sent you that email saying, like, we were just disappointed, right? And the offer wasn't there anymore after the interview because we don't like it.
Okay, so now,
That's it. I hope we can move past it.
that's what I'm saying. Now that we hashed it all out, right? We're all good. You're saying you're extending that olive branch, and you're saying that that opportunity is there again. It's possible. Not a lock-in, but it's possible that I could be on your show.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not interested. Go fuck yourself. Okay. All right, guys. So that is the appearance of Stuttering Craig on the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you all enjoyed it very, very much. It was a good one, right? I hope that
I think that you paint the detractors with too broad of a brush. They're absolutely the fucking weirdos, for sure. But, I mean, both times I've interacted with you, some of them came into my chat last night, and initially there was a little bit of acrimony, but there, you talk to them, and it's mostly fine, I think. I think a big problem for you is that you never leaned into the criticism. The more you pushed against them, the worse and worse they became, and I'm personally of the opinion that if you had just learned to laugh at yourself a little earlier on, then it would never have gotten this bad, in my opinion. My unsolicited opinion towards you. But every time you paint all of the people who have criticism of you as like this monolith of detractors who are all stalking your family, you're gonna make it worse every single time you say that. Alright, would you say the only thing you've leaned into is banning people then? You like the lean in ban? You're lean in ban. Yeah, that's around when I stopped watching your streams. It's back then remember you getting pissed at people making fun of the lean-in Dan and the frogs. For some reason, you really didn't like the frogs.
Right.
No.
And for me, the whole air of unprofessionalism of Twitch and how it's run, like on YouTube, when I get a strike, I know I got the strike. They email me about it. My channel has a giant pop-up on it that says, "This has happened. Now you must, change your behavior." On Twitch, you don't even know what the hell's going on. And all of a sudden, they'll just turn your stream off. Like, what's going on? And then they say, "Oh, you said a slur during your stream." No, I didn't. Appeal, and then they just turn my stream back on 3 hours later because I never did it. Like, they just made it up. So that's one of the reasons I left. I couldn't take them being so unprofessional. I want a place where if you're gonna hold me accountable, fine. I want to know what I'm doing wrong and improve. You gotta give me a chance. Like, you gotta tell me what's happening, not just take me out of the partner program with no warning, no chance to improve myself or be better. Suspend my channel on a whim. Don't tell me I have strikes against all that. Enough is it. This is a business for me. This is my living. I gotta go somewhere where they're gonna take it more seriously, and that's when I've been at YouTube the last 3.5 years, and I have not had any of those kind of problems streaming over here.
So did you leave or did you get banned?
I left. I was removed from the partner program in 2021. They cited hate speech, and
You gotta accept some culpability for that, right?
listen. I will openly admit that I'm not a perfect dude, and I said
None of
things
us
that I
are.
shouldn't have done. But again, for me, it's the air of not being professional about it. If they were transparent with me and were like, "Okay, listen, this happened, you gotta strike. This happened, you gotta strike. You gotta be careful." But they don't do that. They'll just all of a sudden they'll just have
You're
this.
talking about a company. I don't know if you ever saw this, but it's a company where they had like this Twitch ambassador program where they had like an otherkin who thought, I think she was a deer and would do like deer roleplay on the stream where she'd eat grass and say that her haters are grass and she's gonna eat them. So, I mean, Twitch is confusing sometimes, but I think that in that case you're mentioning, I think you would have been fine if you didn't do those two things. Because I get being pressed if someone is trolling you and annoying you, but if you're going and insulting their physical appearance, I don't know, man.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. And if that's your perspective, that's cool. He's the nicest guy in the chat, but I found out that the guy's basically like a pedophile. Like, he's got all this shit on his YouTube channel and stuff. It's disgusting. And I tried to be nice to the guy for the longest time because he would never break the rules. He would never do anything wrong in my chat. But then everyone kind of campaigned to get him banned, and then finally I got convinced by these people I was doing a collab with to get rid of him. And I was like, I guess, this is the kind of people that get involved with these communities. Like, dude, it's weird. The internet's a
How do
weird
you have to be
place.
convinced? What do you mean? Can you elaborate on that a
Sure.
little more for me?
Listen. It's not like I have any problem kicking, a pedophile out of my community. The problem is, this is someone who has absolutely never shown that in any of my streams or content. Like, I wouldn't even know about this if my detractors hadn't stalked this guy. Like, apparently they went to his social media, they went to his YouTube channel, they went to private playlists. I don't know, because I literally have never seen it. I don't want to see it, right? I don't want to be involved with that shit. But, I start hearing detractors, "Oh, this guy is this guy is that." And I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm not a guy who's going to micromanage and stalk every one of my fans because someone says something negative about them, right? So it was like my philosophy. Listen, I'm not your dad. I'm not your fucking parent. I'm not the cops. I shouldn't be, going to everyone's social media to see what you're into in your private life and shit. I really don't care. Just don't bring it to my content. I want to know nothing about it. But
Okay, so I have a few problems with that.
all right, fine.
The thing about that is you shouldn't be stalking people, but in this instance, it sounded like they were doing you a favor. They're saying there's someone who's into little kids, that's giving you that's not stalking someone and being unreasonable. If someone says this person has pedophilic tendencies, you should probably ban them from your chat. You gotta think of what if they're DMing other people in your chat? What if they're doing shit behind the scenes? I think you as a content creator, a streamer, however you want to style yourself, has a responsibility to the people who pay your bills to protect them from people like that. I think that if it took you a long time from when they first told you to you banning them, that's a pretty big moral failing in my opinion.
Well, the way I see it, and listen, I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah, I'm not. the way I see it is, this is a guy who, I would argue, was probably about a year and a half, 2 years, was in chat and never caused a problem. And I didn't know any of this shit. And then all of a sudden, where do you hear it from? Am I hearing it from trusted people? No, I'm hearing it from like my detractors are coming in and trolling the guy. And by the way, this is not the only guy. They do this with a lot of my viewers. This just happened to be like a bad offender. Like, they'll make fun of my viewers for dumb shit too. This is a really bad situation.
This is different. You can take 5 minutes to check the validity of this, right?
Well, again, that's a big step. For me, that's a big step because you're saying now that any time that one of my detractors comes in and says, hey, just so you know, this person's doing something bad, now I'm supposed to just believe them and go check on every single person? Because what happens is when you give these people an inch, they take a mile. So the first time it happens and I entertain it and I take the step, now it's going to happen to the next person and the next, and they're never going to give up. They're just going to do it literally to every person, and eventually it's going to be bullshit. It's going to be, this isn't serious. They're just doing it now to get attention because they realize they got me to react the first time. But I agree with you now.
The first time was a legitimate thing, though, right?
But now I know it was. I didn't know it was at first. It took a lot of convincing from a lot of different people. And in fact, I personally, behind the scenes, apologized to a couple of people who were not detractors, who did recently tell me about this guy. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to give those haters that satisfaction that they think that I'm just going to take action because they say something about me.
But that literally doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the alternative is what? He's a pedophile and you don't ban him, and that you're sticking it to the detractors that way. They would probably be like, okay, well, we don't like Phil. We don't like that he asks for so much money, but when it comes to serious issues like this, he's, because you got to stop thinking about these hypotheticals. Ultimately, you said previously, should I check every time one person says something about my viewers? But before you said that, you told me just now that a lot of people were telling you about Derek, right?
At one point, yes, very, very recently, and that's actually when I got rid of him.
Okay, so I don't know. I just think if you're going to have the audacity to go in and let's face it, streaming's pretty cushy in a lot of ways. If you're asking people for money, you should do right by them, and I think that doing right by them means not allowing actual child predators to just freely roam the chat, right?
For the record, I don't even know if it's fully true. I just know people have told me. I didn't go deep into looking into this guy's stuff. And for the record, because I know you probably don't know this, there's no DMs on YouTube. There's no way this guy could have reached out and tried to stalk or harass people through my channel. Unlike Twitch, where definitely that can happen, and there's evidence it happens all the time. On YouTube, it's just it's like a comment system. So this guy, to my knowledge, was not ever taking anything that he did in his private life and putting it onto my stream, my viewers or other people in the community. In fact, again, the only reason I knew about this is because supposedly my detractors went deep into his shit to find it. And then when they found it, they threw it in my face like it's my fault, right? Oh, you have a follower who's a fucking pedophile. How dare you not take action? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why are you bothering me with this shit, But then after a while, you hear more and more people talk about it, and that's why, yes, finally when you have enough people they're all confirming it. All right, now I got to take action because it's true. But my issue with it now I understand. But my issue with it was I was afraid that if you give these people an inch, they will keep taking the mile and keep pushing the envelope with every person in chat, with every person who ever supported me. And then, by the way, for the record, this guy didn't even support me. He never even gave $1. He never became a paid member, nothing. He was just a chatter, like a casual guy there. But fair enough. I've certainly heard this from so many people. You're just the next person to correct me on this issue. And, from now on, when I hear serious shit like this going on, I absolutely will look into it and address it. Because I agree with you, the safety of the community is more important than, the detractors got a one-up on me.
Yeah, because you said that one of the things you said in our DMs is you feel like you're on a redemption arc, right? Like you're trying to go on a redemption arc and prove that people are wrong about you, yeah?
I'm not that I'm trying to prove people are wrong, I'm trying to improve. I know that I've made problems, I've had problems, I've had bad behavior. I'm trying to be better now. And I want people to know that. I want people to know that this is not the old Phil who's just gonna sit here isolated, not talk to anyone, be a fucking stupid, big-headed idiot, not take criticism, not improve for the better. I want to be the better person. That's one of the reasons why I have you on today. I wanted the kind of conversation we're having right now to happen. This is exactly the reason why I wanted you on, because I need to have an honest conversations with people to improve and move forward in my life.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but having a conversation and following through on it, two different things, right? Because I will say to you, like, you've never done anything to me personally aside from the Monster Hunter thing. Like, you've been polite and respectful in basically all of our interactions. So I'm sorry if this comes off as, I'm not trying to be aggressive towards you, but I think if you're going to talk about wanting to be better, then you need to, like, accept that you really fucked up on a lot of places, because that's a huge that's a bad mistake. If one person is just consistently saying, like, everyone in the chat's a pedophile, whatever, but if you have multiple people, within the next few hours, you should see that, because what if you're wrong? What if your assumptions about, like, not being able to get into contact with people, what if they were on, like, I don't know if you still have the King of Hate forum, what if they were in a Discord or something, and people like that, they're a cancer. You need to get rid of them immediately, even if they're not bringing it in to your stream, because it's not about, the way you say it, it's like, if they're part of your stream and not bringing it in, it just sounds like you're saying it's okay for people to be that way, and I don't think that's right.
No, I'll put something serious, and, I just didn't know how to handle it, quite frankly.
Okay, so I have something uncomfortable to ask you then.
Okay.
So you've been apologizing, but I think, and this is gonna sound weird, but I think if someone does the legwork to find out you have an actual predator in your chat and alerts you of that fact, you should thank them for doing that for you, because even if it's not necessarily their stated intended goal from the beginning of it, they're doing you a favor, and you should be grateful that even if it didn't start with the best of intentions, you should be a big enough man to say, you know what, I don't like you fuckers, but this time you did me a service, you did people in the chat a service, and I think that you deserve commendation for that, basically. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and to some extent, this has happened over the years as well with other things. For example, there was this time, it was actually around the same time that we were having interactions, now that I'm thinking about it, where there was this couple. Let's listen to this story. I don't know if you've heard this story.
I know this one. They mentioned me during this.
Oh, did they?
On Kiwi Farms, yeah.
So, yeah, there was this couple who were, I guess they were like in Europe or something, and they were catfishers, and they would impersonate women on the internet, pretend to be escorts, and they would create these giant overblown stories and harass people with these stories in an attempt to extort them and try to get, like, money out of them and shit. And they had tried to do this to me, apparently, but it didn't work on me because I was already so hated on the internet and shit. I didn't care about my reputation or whatever. I just told everyone, listen, it's bullshit, right? I'm telling you it's bullshit. I don't have to tell you nothing else because it's all made up. It's all fantasy. And that's how I handled it, and no one really cared in my community, but it was my stalkerish style detractors who looked into the situation and found out who these people were and posted it up all over TV Farms and exposed them. So out of, all these times that these people do these things, right? There are sometimes absolutely that good things come out of it. That was definitely one case. The Derek thing is definitely one case. But again, like, that's 2 drops in a bucket of, shit that they do. That it's like 2 positives out of 5 zillion negatives, and it's hard for me to really give credit when the most awful things they've said, they've done, again, the extent of it is so ridiculous. I don't want to talk about it, because when you talk about it, you're giving them attention. That's what they want, right?
Sure.
But I hear what you're saying. Yes, in this case, these are situations where, even though the intention was negative, something positive came out of it. And I think they should know that they should be credited with those times. But overall, does it justify their overall years of complete harassment and stalkerish behavior just because twice they got something that was like a positive out of it? I don't know. Like, I am thankful to the fact that they have exposed these things.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I'm gonna interrupt you really quickly. I feel like I've heard the opposite part of this too, where when you do something good and people are like, oh Phil actually knocked it out of the park. You feel like they only focus on the negatives, right? Like they won't acknowledge when you do a good thing. So I feel like they would say the exact same thing about you. That you just, it's just like listening to the other side of the fucking argument right now for me. And you would say that, or sorry, they would say that maybe Phil did good this time, that time, whatever, but does it justify the WWE champions or whatever the fuck else they're mad about you, mad about with you, excuse me. So I don't know, man. I don't know, you just gotta give credit when credit's due, because you kind of expect to be commended when you do something good, right? Like you say, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that, I made this mistake, that mistake, and I've gotten better. And if you can't have it just be a one-way thing, right? You can't expect people to just ignore all of your fuck-ups and only focus on commending you for the positives and not give the other side the same courtesy, yeah? But let's do this then. Are you willing to thank people for taking care of the Derek situation and taking care of the catfishing situation? You're not busy now. We're having this conversation, so are you comfortable saying that? I'm not asking you to worship people. You don't have to like them. Right. But if you want people to look past their misgivings with you, you have to do the same. And you have to acknowledge when people actually do something that's positive. Because it could have gone a whole nother way. Like, if they really wanted to ruin your life to the extent that you think, they may have tried to embolden someone like Derek and enable him and get him in a position where he'd be able to cause real harm to your community. But they didn't. That makes sense, right?
It makes sense, but you're coming at it from an angle, and I get it, because that's the perspective you're seeing. My perspective is the reason that they didn't is because they wanted to pin it on me. Like, they wanted to say, you see, Phil has this guy in his community, and that's on him. You know what I mean? And so, but you know what? You're right. I will publicly right now say to anyone out there, because I actually don't know people who are involved. I don't go on Kiwi Farms and study accounts and shit. I don't have any interaction with them. To those of you out there, who even if you don't like me, those of you who have done me a solid, who have done these kind of things, exposing that ridiculous catfish, right? Taking care, well, not taking care, but exposing the truth about the Derek situation. Thank you for that, because those are things that help the community, that help me, and I do appreciate that because, for me, I'm just a dude sitting here streaming all day. I don't really go outside of like Tolo has even said here. It's rare when I would go outside of my comfort zone to explore into these regions, these realms of this shit going down. So I don't even know what to believe half the time, right? I've heard that about Derek for about a year. I heard that about Derek, and I was like, I don't know what to believe because I always hear it from detractors, and it wasn't until I started getting corroboration from other people saying, well, we looked into it and we seen it too. Oh shit. So now I'm in a big mistake because I just immediately dismissed what the detractors were saying rather than giving it any kind of merit because it was from the detractors. When I started hearing it from other people, then I start to believe it. Next thing you know, oh, it's actually true. Shit, I should have taken action sooner. That's on me. I apologize for my lack of action faster, and I apologize for not getting credit where credit is due. Thank you to those who have actually done that the solid rather than, like Tolo suggested, trying to make it worse. Thing is, that's not everyone. But for those of you who are involved with that shit, I do appreciate that.
All right. I think in the future, though, you should not qualify it at the end like that. You should just maybe a couple people, or you're thanking a couple people unjustly. Who gives a shit, right? Like it doesn't matter. It just makes it seem like a little more forced when you add the little bit at the end there. But we don't have to keep talking about.
TSP also had another interview with the wrestling podcast from Cultaholic. It was okay, they just talked about wrestling and WWE champions. Nothing to note of, but still Bill wants to do more interviews later down the road this year in 2025. We'll see if those actually happen.
Let's go, Gam!
Conrad Harriman, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you better pray.
Mm-mm-mm.
Merci beaucoup, merci. C'est bon, Simon, la cigarette.
I really need everyone in the business to be on the same page. How can we make decisions if we don't understand the full picture?
So, no actions then? You know, you could just fathom it.
Fathom what?
Get every detail in a single view and focus on the metrics that matter. Analyze, report, consolidate, and forecast all on one platform.
Yeah, I'm literally on top of it right now.
That's because you're on Fathom. Understand your numbers, share business results, and confidently plan for what's next. Fathom your numbers, own your future.
Mm.
Let's go gambling! Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang.
Hello, Space Dog. How you doing, dude? Here's the thing. There is a strong possibility. Now, I'm just going to say this. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Okay? But here's the deal on what's going on right now. As you know, there's a documentary on Review Tech USA that is going to go live in the coming weeks, the next 1 to 2 weeks. Okay? I have a hunch that it's going to go live not this weekend, but probably the second weekend of August. Okay? A hunch. I don't have a guarantee, I have a hunch. That's all I'm going to say. Alright? I want to react to the Review Tech USA documentary. That's going to be a big thing. It's an hour long, but you know me, when I react to these things, it usually takes 2-3 hours, so it's going to be a lengthy react to this. I need to make time in my schedule for it. Okay? Well, there has been strong interest in seeing a crossover event between myself and the Kino Casino guys over on Kick. Alright, now listen, before we get into it, I'm well aware that these guys have been very critical of me. They've insulted me and my wife.
Brian MK says, PvP, thoughts on DSP's wife? I don't really know the DSP lore enough to comment. But his wife, from what I saw before and after, oh man, she's put on a lot of weight. But I mean, if you were DSP's wife, wouldn't you eat yourself to death too? I don't fucking know.
They've done that kind of stuff. They've also done it to a million other people too. And I've actually had some positive interactions with these guys over the last couple of weeks. We've had some conversations back and forth. We basically have a understanding, all right, that we kind of want to maybe even do this together, all right, like a co-op commentary on the Review Tech documentary, all right, and we're trying to work out the logistics of that, like how would it work, who would appear on whose channel, etc. All right, and we're working that out right now. But the only way that we can actually get this to work would be to do a test. We can't just do it the day of. We have to test it first so we have it working, so when the documentary actually drops, we can be like, okay, here we go, we're ready to go, right? So, in the next week, there is a very strong possibility.
Very low frame rate, people are saying.
No, see, here we go. So what is cost? Because
Do you have your bit rate up on OBS there? Is it like
Yeah, it's-
raised?
the thing is, the bit rate's high. I always stream high, but my CPU uses 2%. So what could possibly be causing that? It doesn't even make sense. Like, the only thing I can think of is that plus streaming on Discord plus OBS broadcasting is using too much bandwidth in my internet brain.
Get $100 tip right now.
Thank you guys. People are supporting already. Of course, we haven't been able to shout anything out. Trying to get stuff going.
Let's get some support
On
for
this day?
Philip. On this day, the day of Review Tech's funeral.
Alright? None of us here tonight on this video wish pain or suffering or physical harm to Vic. Please do not go harass this man as a result of things we do in this video. I don't condone that.
Don't harass
You know?
him.
Don't do that, alright? This is enough harassment to make this video. We don't have to go after the guy
No,
and
this
everything
is
else.
harassment.
This is justice.
This is justice. This is equal. This is equal opportunity razzing. For
Wait, hang
so
on.
long, he turned it upon others. Now it's being turned
Beyond
on
that.
him, and it's like, oh no, please,
beyond that.
it's your turn, Dickers.
Watches you every night, Phil.
I know.
His life is watching. Whenever we watching you stoned out of his mind, right? 6 hours straight every night and harassing you. You at least are like, guys, don't harass him. He didn't care about that. He was happy to see you in pain. He was happy to spit on you and walk over you when you were at your lowest. He was fun.
I'd like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, or night only, I present to you the briefcase.
Oh,
What's in the briefcase?
Case.
Well, it's
It's like Pulp
it's
Fiction.
okay. It's okay. What? Guys, guess.
Yes! Yeah! Ace! That magnificent fill! Phenomenal fill I brought forward!
In the casino of life, you start full of chips, right? Everyone walks in fully loaded, but over time, you mess up. And every time you mess up, you lose some of your chips. Tonight, as we go through the Review Tech documentary by June the King, we're going to see the times in history that Rich screwed up. Every time he made a mistake, oops, he's going to lose some chips. At what point will Rich be felted? Let's find out here live tonight on DSP React. And be fair, I did contact you and I said you should have called it the Rich Taste of Failure and showed him sucking a cucumber, but he didn't go for that. Alright? Pretty good second runner-up title.
Yeah. He was keeping it a little bit more PG, you know?
Began uploading more. This was Suchi's an American man with a tech background and the second attempt.
Oh, hold on, pause. No. June the King just doxed Rich publicly on the internet. He put his full name out there. That's unacceptable. Oh, wait, that's what LTG would say. Sorry about that.
Somebody else says slurs? Nazi! Cancel them! Take away their livelihood! Smear their name!
Same here, I think.
Right? And the thing is, like, I've seen the clip, and I did, at the time, not that anyone cared, I wasn't a big content creator at this time, I talked a little bit about it on my streams too, how I felt that the impact of something that PewDiePie does could actually legitimately hurt other content creators because it could actually hurt the monetization of the whole. But I watched the clip in context first to understand what was said. I didn't just read a Wall Street Journal article and then start talking shit out of my ass. I knew exactly how he said it on the stream, and that's when I commented. It sounds like he just didn't bother. Again, he just rips articles. Oh, it sounds like a good one. I'll just read this one on my stream and talk out of his ass. Who cares if it's right or wrong? I'll just make a correction later. Double Project went through a bankruptcy in order to save everything. I was at the verge of losing everything. And there were weeks when literally if I didn't have a good stream, I can't even go out and afford the groceries this week. I can't pay this payment this week. And my mind has been endlessly stuck there because it's so dumb. You're right. If I have a day or 2 days where our streams are bad, I'm not going to go out of business and lose everything. I'm not. I publicly said that to everyone too. It's just that I'm so stuck in this rut mindset that, oh my God, I was there at one point. I don't want it to go back there, right? This is the true finale. Okay? Right now. Because what we have here is the final stack of chips for Rich. And what we have to do is we have to break it down and we have to say, for every time that Rich sucked a cucumber for money, for every time that Rich is the cop for money, for every time that Rich took his shirt off like a lol cow but then made fun of other people for being lol cows, there you go. We're going to take a ginormous amount of chips away from him. For you guys, exposing him for what he really was and finally allowing the internet to see who he was all along. He was 1 million subs insulated from the ire of the internet, and you guys single-handedly, with your exposing all his controversies, turned that around and let the internet see who he really is for who he is. So that's your stack right there, and that's actually the biggest chunk I've taken out of any stack tonight because you deserve it, guys. And we have this left. We have this left. The finale.
Okay.
June the King, not only making this documentary, but destroying Rich on Twitter for being a liar and hypocrite about doxing, and then today also calling him out for stuff, you know, there you go. That is June the King's stack.
And saying he was felted in
Right.
after the video was done.
Right, exactly right. So, at this point, after all of tonight, Rich literally has, I'm going to show this to you, 1 chip left. This is what Rich has left in his life. Now, here's the thing. I would like to say I am a person who believes that people can improve and change for the better, that people can learn from their mistakes. And maybe after having watched not only this documentary by June the King, but hearing someone like me talk about this tonight, I'm trying to help this man, okay? I want him to get better. I want things to be better for his family. I want him to make good content.
Mais venez!
Je détecte une certaine hostilité. Vraiment.
J'ai encore la place.
Ayons des enfants. Votre conjoint souhaite avoir un petit peu plus d'espace dans la relation.
Vous prenez vos précautions? Avec sérieusement.
Je ne vais pas attendre une semaine. Je n'avais pas terminé. L'appel de regard, l'envoûtement d'une monture parfaite, le magnétisme animal.
Oui, l'animal, mais moi, ce qui est important pour moi, c'est d'être pris en charge par des pros. C'est du monde qui te confiance, là.
Tu as raison. On vous voit comme personne.
He has one chip left. And he has a chance to turn his life around. But he has to become a better person. And he has to. You just saw in that entire thing. He makes the same mistakes. He never admits fault. He always had the same problems. Unless you change who you are, you will never improve and get out of this rut race. I know you can't be employed. Otherwise, that's why you're still doing YouTube to hate it. That's why you look like this. But you have to change the person. Can you do it? Can you stop every day making yourself the victim, eating the edibles to feel better, and doing this awful thing? Or can you finally say, you know what? I'm going to fess up. I'm going to apologize for the awful person I've been for the last decade. I'm going to stop making these mistakes, and I'm going to move forward positively. Can you do that? Oh, wait. Oh, one final thing. For 10 years of you fucking with me and making my life miserable for your personal gain, I'm taking your final chip as the king's tax, you motherfucker. Yeah! You're fucking felt it, bitch. Felt it. You're done. Because the thing is, even if I left you this fucking chip, you wouldn't improve your life. You had the chance. You never took an opportunity to improve. You insulated yourself from any criticism, but now you've been exposed. You're done. This is my chip, and I'm gonna wear this proudly in my fucking background from now on because I earned it.
He earned it! God, what an incredible place to end our reaction event. Great monologue from Darkseid.
But it ended up being really fun. We had a great day. And let me tell you something. My detractor can't fucking handle it. They are so upset that I spent a day, instead of playing games, that I spent a day putting this up. And the fact that people stood around for it, they engaged, they talked with me, they helped me with it, and I hit all of my goals yesterday. Chips goals hit, super chats, memberships coming in. They cannot believe it. They're like, why would people support Phil when all he did was put up his back? That's the point. Because people like me, stupid. They don't like you. They like you making fun of me, but they don't like you. They actually genuinely like me. So they came by to support me when I was doing something outside the box that they knew would improve streams moving forward. So they're sitting there so upset that I had a good day. Well, shit. Get used to it, bro. Because it ain't gonna change. This is the new normal, the new reality. ESP streams, has fun with his audience, gets success and support, and we continue on making fun of you. In fact, you're the reason why this is continuing if you don't get it. 10 years of karma is finally coming back to bite you in the fucking ass. All you morons out there who made fun of me constantly and said bullshit and made shit up. Now you have no content. The only content you can make is like, oh shit, Phil did good again today. Oops. Well, it is what it is. Like I said last night, how many people, when they clicked me, were sure to include the leaderboard down there to show what a great day I had, right? I will just say this, please, do not support my content because you want to stick it to the trolls who cry and seethe and just have a big hissy fit video on their back like infants, like babies. It feels had success to support my streams just because of that. I mean, that will be an end result of it. You'll see more suffering, more seething and pain from my trolls. But please don't support the stream just for that. I would prefer if you would support my streams because you like the content. Hey, I want people to come by and genuinely be enjoying what they're seeing, and that's why they support me. But we're going to continue to make fun of my trolls. I mean, that's part of the fun, is it not? Someone's asked, it's $1.20 tip, what's your opinion on the term pig roach, or why do they even call you that? Because they're fucking morons. That's why. Because they have to dehumanize someone because it makes them feel better about the awful things they do to me. So instead of actually fessing up to the fact that they're being horrible to a real human, they try to categorize me as something unhuman. So now there's no morality involved. Oh, you see, I didn't make fun of a human. I made fun of a pig or a roach. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. It's pathetic. It's absolutely like psychological games. So they can try to get around realizing what they're doing is wrong. But in reality, it just makes them look like a bunch of fucking idiots. You know, everyone who really looks at from the outside sees it is like, wow, you guys are really like that's a schoolyard insult, right? Literally, it's a schoolyard insult. It's something that a small child would do. That's the mental maturity and intelligence level of my detractors, also known as the hate army, as I'm going to call them from now on. The army of haters who hate me have no fucking mental capacity to do anything at an intelligent adult level. So they have schoolyard insults for me. Here you go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys supporting my content yesterday in a very positive way. I had a great time. Okay. I received another tip. If I had to choose between Duty or Tevin, who would I pick? Let me put it this way. If I was falling off a cliff, I was at the very edge, holding on the edge of the cliff, and here was Duty, he was extending his hand to save my life, and over here was Tevin, he was extending his hand to save my life. So I had to choose, life or death. I would release my hands from the cliff and do a double fucking finger fuck you on the way down as I careen to the abyss below. There you go. Thanks very much for the $1.20 tip. It's the same person, I think, so it's another $1.20 tip. It's the second one. Am I gonna take on Worski 1v1? I don't know if Andy was serious about that. So since all my trolls are talking about it, let's address this briefly. So last night, Kino Casino was streaming for the first time in a while. I think last time they streamed was on Thanksgiving, right? And I just happened to drop in, like, right at the tail end of their show. And they were making fun of me, which was funny. They were watching me play Call of Duty from the other day. He spawned behind me. He was behind you! He spawned. I'm done. He spawned behind me again. I literally just spawned. And how basically whenever I play Call of Duty, I always say, oh, you see, I didn't see the enemy was an invisible enemy. Now everyone knows that I'm full of shit. I do that when I'm angry. I rage at the game, right? But that's part of what I've always done. I mean, I've literally acted like that since the days when I played Street Fighter 4. Okay, it's not ultra serious. It's meant to try to be entertaining when I'm sucking at the game or I'm really angry. Because if you remember, I was really angry because the stupid skill-based matchmaking kept screwing me over and giving me matches that were very laggy, and I didn't like that. So I went crazy, of course, playing the game that day. So I just showed up while they were watching that, like a montage of that, and laughing at it and making fun of me. And I thought it was hilarious, and I was laughing at it or whatever. So last night I showed up, and it was funny, dude. I love it when I call him Triple P. Ashton, I call him Triple P. I don't know why. I just like calling him Triple P. It's like Triple H, right? So when he gets on you and he's like really digging in, I just feel like it's fucking hilarious. Like I know he does it to other people. You're like, ooh, he's getting them. But he did it to me last night, and I was having a good time. It's funny, you know. But here's what the trolls did. Did you see how Kino Casino completely sneaked Phil last night? Our first true big story today, amazing. They still exist, folks. They still fucking exist. Wow.
No! Ghost of Phil's in his house.